Welcome to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you, personally and professionally. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm an entrepreneur, patient advocate, content creator, and author. You may know me from the Everything is Messy book, brand, and podcast. But what you may not know is how hard I had to work to get me to where I am today. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And in this season, I'm more driven and extremely passionate about my purpose to help you save the time, money, and energy it takes to be happier and get healthier with your mind, body, business, and life. Tune in every week to hear raw, unfiltered conversations from myself and my incredible guests as we discuss trending topics, share stories of resilience, and chat about all things health, wealth, healing, and wellness. Whether you're here to listen, learn, or laugh, I promise to bring awareness and add more value to your day. Take this time to relax and recharge. Listen, life is short. Invest in yourself. Be loud, be different, be you, and most importantly, enjoy the ride. Buckle up because today's podcast experience starts now. One more thing, sharing is caring. I would love your thoughts on today's episode. Head on over to Apple Podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Want to continue the conversation? Let's connect online. You can find me at kellyanngorman.com and all my social links are in the show notes. Now let's get into today's show. Hello. Welcome to the Kellyanne Cares podcast. Today is a very special day. It is my 5-year anniversary show. It's our 5-year anniversary show. I could not be any more honored. I could not be any more grateful. I don't know how this has been happening for 5 years. I was trying to figure this out yesterday, and I'm like, I'm celebrating 5 years of podcasting tomorrow on my birthday. Like, how have I been doing this 5 years? Like, honestly, half of it was a blur, and we all know why. And you can scroll back to all those episodes. But I am just so grateful that you have been on this journey with me, and then I have been able to help you in any way possible, whether that's with this show, with my book, just with any kind of content I create online. I do this for a reason, and it's to help more people. And if you are one of them, I'd be so grateful if you could leave me a review over on Apple Podcasts today. But besides me losing my voice again, I actually should have taken one of those throat lozenges my doctor gave me. I'm like a little stuffy. I'm currently in Vegas, and I'm a big fan of angel numbers. And on my birthday, 6/10 today, it's going to be 110 degrees. But yesterday I was filming a ton of TikTok content outside, and I was like dripping sweat. It was over 100 degrees, and my allergies are like in full effect. And then I start to sound like groggy. I was losing my voice and all the things. But anyway, I forgot my lozenge, and I haven't even had a coffee because it's currently 6 a.m. I set my alarm for 6:10 a.m. I got up, threw my clothes on, took a shower last night. I have an adventure with my best friend's 3-year-old daughter all day today. We're going to go to the Bellagio. We're going to go to the Venetian. We did this for her birthday, and I'm like, want to come with me for my birthday? So we're going to do that today. So I'm going to hang out with the 3-year-old and live my best life. And I'm honestly like so excited about it because I love going to all the properties on this strip. Like, I honestly, like, I can't believe I also did that for many years of my life, and it's just crazy. So another full circle moment I'm going to get into with you in a minute, but oh my God, I definitely should have had that lozenge. I'm so sorry you have to listen to my 5-year show special with this voice, but this is life. And today I'm 44. I'm not pregnant. I do not have kids. I am not married. I'm not in a relationship. And the life I currently have right now is not what I was expecting. And that's why I like to share everything. I'm 100% real, what you see in person and online. I am not fake. I love a good filter. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to real life shit, like, I just share it all. Especially like yesterday, I was on the phone with my friend Rouge, and she was saying, like, because I said I was doing Uber for a couple months. I'm like, I fucking miss people. And I'm like, everything on the internet just seems so fake sometimes. And we're not fake, but we know that there are so many people that are fake. And we're like, we just miss people. And I was like, I love doing Uber. Like, I just met, like, come on in my car. Like, the craziest, most intelligent and smart and the best, like, sense of humor and just incredible stories from humans. And that's the whole reason why I started this show. And doing that made me realize, like, I miss real life. I miss real people. And as an entrepreneur and somebody that works in the digital space, sometimes you're alone. And sometimes that's for a really long time. And I've realized, now that I've left San Diego, because I'm traveling for the whole summer, that I was like sucked into a bubble of, from the pandemic, and then, from being sick into the legal cases, into the pandemic. I'm like finally out, but it's just like, that was a blur, like another chapter of my life. I'm like trying to remember. And as June is PTSD Awareness Month, I just wanted to say that if you're new here, I do have PTSD. I do suffer from that, as well as anxiety, depression, and I've always been 100% vocal and honest about that. And I never had these things until I was misdiagnosed, and a lot of them came from withdrawing from all the drugs and the chemo that I was on, but also a lot of traumatic experiences. Something happened the other day. It's actually really funny, and I wish I could have my best friend here as a visual, but long story short, well, it is like a really short story, but it was her birthday, and we were going somewhere, and we were going somewhere, and I needed a birthday bag for her for somebody else's party. So I'm like, why don't we just recycle the one I gave you? It's so pretty. So I'm like, let me run in the house and get it. So I go to do that, and my flip-flop was in my crossbody, like on the ground. Like my purse was like kind of wrapped around my foot. So I went to get out of the car, and I remember when I was getting out of the car, I'm on our street, and which I currently am right now, sitting in a car recording because it's quiet. And I saw this orange truck coming, and I go to get out of the car, and I fucking dove straight, like literally diagonal into the cement. I landed on all fours. And I think the most painful thing of that experience was the cement was on fire. Like I felt like it was melting the palms of my hands. And then my left ass was hurting, and I was like, my ass cheek, and I was like, why? And I'm like, oh my God, I think I hit it on the door going down. And we were all like laughing. And she's like, are you laughing or are you crying? Like, what is going on? So she gets out of the car, and I literally couldn't breathe. I was hyperventilating. You know that laugh when you're laughing so hard your stomach hurts and like no noise comes out, and all you hear is like that's where we were both at. We couldn't even like speak because we were laughing so freaking hard. So I dove down straight instead of exiting the vehicle like a normal person. I dove into the cement instead. And so I've been really sore all week. My arms, and my knees and my toes. Like I just landed like on all of them, and it was fine. Like, but then my body went into shock because it's experienced so much trauma. And now I have to look down when she drives because I feel like that orange truck is going to hit me. So I'm working through that, but that's just an example of things that will freak you out when you have PTSD and you're like, oh my God, it's going to happen again. Oh my God, the car is going to hit me. Oh my God, I'm going to fall out of the car. Oh my God, this car is going to like drive through the light and hit me. And that's also happened. But like, that's not why I originally got PTSD. It's because I was misdiagnosed and thought like I was always dying. So this person in like a couple homes in front of me is like doing her best workout on my birthday, and I feel like I should be doing that with her. Anyway, side note. So that happened. And when you have PTSD, people around you, even the ones that love you the most, they're not going to understand like triggers usually, or like when something is happening until it's happening. In my opinion, of course, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a professional patient. And I don't know, PTSD sucks. I used to do a lot of EMDR therapy, and that's with your eyes. And I had to stop that because I had vertigo really bad from withdrawing from a lot of the meds at the time. So the way that I heal is most of the time holistic. I love my CBD. I love my kava. Although, however, the last couple times I've had my kava, my stomach like is killing me. And I've had kava twice this week. And my friend reminded me, she's like, you say that every time. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. I do. So I think I have to lay off the kava, but I love a good CBD. I love a good gummy. I love a good sound healing meditation. I do those every single night, every single morning, and sound healing has done insane things for my healing process. And with meditations, I just think that the sound, there's all different frequencies that will help in all different areas of your life. So if you just Google it, like, I'm not an expert in this. I did have somebody on that was. Her name is Susie. She goes by the Copper Vessel. And I've talked about her so many times, like literally over the last 2 years. And she was on episode, it was under the 200s, I believe. But she's incredible. And you can find her on Instagram at the Copper Vessel. And I found her and she literally helped me heal. So if you're looking for healing, if you have anxiety, depression, PTSD, if you know somebody struggling, send them to her Instagram and her YouTube. She has a monthly subscription. And that has just helped me in so many ways. So going back to being a professional patient, I've been getting this like feeling, and I've had this like pull where patient advocacy needs to be a part of my life again, which it always has. Like, I haven't stopped, but I feel like I need to be like full force and do more. And so I'm going to. So if you're not receiving my newsletters, either my personal or my LinkedIn newsletter, I did share that I'm going to start consulting. And that doesn't mean I'm giving you medical advice. That doesn't mean I'm giving you legal advice. Although I am a pretty damn good attorney, I can tell you that. As I have closed 6 medical malpractice cases in 18 months in the middle of the fucking pandemic. Did I win a penny? No, because I decided that the trauma was good enough for me to close that chapter and not go to trial and do the 3 years all over again. What I have done is help save the lives of more than 1,000 patients. And to me, that is more important. I get messages every single day. And to be honest with you, it's weird because a lot of them come to my personal Facebook. And I think it's because they're watching these old Facebook Lives with my jet black hair and my gray eyeballs and my sick features. And when I would go on the internet crying, asking for help because I had MS and then I had NMO and I thought I was going to die. And I need an answer. So I went to the internet and I asked, like every other normal person would, right? So they're responding to those videos. And that's a huge trigger when you have PTSD and you're trying, like in my area, like how I have it, is people will watch a video from like 2017, 2018, and then they slide into my DMs and they ask me like how I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, I was actually misdiagnosed. And then they have 20 other questions. And then I feel like an asshole because I'm like, well, you still have it and I don't. And that's something else you have to work through. But when a lot of these people are contacting me, sometimes that triggers me and I feel like I'm sick again and I'm going to die. That's literally how PTSD in my brain and my body feels. So that's why I'm so into like intermittent fasting and juicing and cleansing and walking and my saffron and my turmeric and my sound healing and just all the holistic vibes. I need that in my life. And that's what's helped me survive. No joke. Now, going into, what was the other thing I was going to share with you? There's just so much I wanted to share with you. As far as the patient advocacy goes, I want to consult. So if you or someone you know needs a patient advocate, I will be your number one cheerleader. I know all areas. That's the best part. I've been the patient. I've been the caretaker. I've been the quote unquote doctor because you have to be. You have to be an attorney when you go through the legal aspect if you can't find your own. And that was like the hardest part about all of this misdiagnosis. And it's weird because I've been interviewed on quite a number of shows the last couple of months and they're slowly coming out now and they're all about this story. And I just forgot because when you're in the podcasting bubble, like you batch record your content, which is how my voice got like this in the first place. I stream my vocal cords, but when you batch record your content, like your shows will come out a couple weeks or a couple months later on. I do my solos live, like this is going up like as soon as I'm done, raw, unedited. But other shows take me sometimes a couple hours to edit and record and produce, and my clients too, like hours sometimes. So there's just so much that I want to do in the patient advocacy world. And I just feel like I could be your best advocate because I know all sides. And you need to become your own best advocate, your own patient advocate because it's your job as a human. Like, I understand if you're going through something traumatic and a shitty experience. Trust me, I've been there. It's taken 6 years. Like, I get it, but nobody gives a shit but you. My dad always used to say that, like, nobody gives a shit except your family, but my family doesn't clearly give a shit. So that's a whole nother episode. And I think that if you are not taking care of yourself first, you can't be your best, right? So I even did a TikTok about this the other day. Like, sometimes when I'm feeling the worst, I help the most. Like, I go and like surprise my friends with things, or I'll send my clients like fun like memos or like cute gifts, or just pay for the person in front of me getting a coffee, or just like random acts of kindness. That makes me feel better when I feel like shit. So if you are somebody that is kind of like me, like, try it, because it seriously will make you feel better. That's just something I like to do. But as far as the advocacy goes, you need to start learning how to advocate for yourself. And that's why I want to consult, because I want to show you how. And the number one way is with your medical records being organized. You need to have a power of attorney. You need to have somebody that is in charge, that is on your emergency list on your phone. I mean, there are so many things that you probably haven't even thought of that are just like common sense, but it's not when you're in the thick of it, because the only thing you care about is getting better and finding the next doctor. But the next doctor is going to be easier to find and an easier situation to go through when everything is organized. And that's with anything in life, like anything. And it's not my way of organizing, which is like OCD style color-coded situation. It's one that makes you feel the best. You can't have, I forget what I was telling the other day, but I was explaining to them, I think it was a client. I was like, you know, I'm like extremely organized, but if I'm trying to show you my way of being organized, you may lose your shit. That's too much. You can't handle that. If the crumbled up Post-its or the pile of mail on your desk, if that's your way of being organized, then you keep it that way. Like, you can't turn into somebody else to like make trying to be organized, and it's not going to feel comfortable for you. That's the thing. You have to feel the most comfortable. So just take little pieces of advice from the people that you follow on TikTok or me or anybody else, and like find your own method, find your own way of being organized. And that's like in your pantry, your kitchen, with your medical records, and overall your fucking life. You can't go copying people. It's not going to work. And over the last couple of months, I've seen a lot of people copying shit that I'm doing. And it's like, okay, should I be flattered? Am I annoyed? Do I need to take legal action? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, aren't I going through enough right now? And so you just have to take it with a grain of salt, and just like, I just don't even care at this point, because right now my objective is to help more people get to where they want to be in life. And patient advocacy is a huge part of my life. And I think I really need to, now that I can, because for years I was like healing, and mentally, physically, emotionally, like I can't help somebody in that aspect of their life if I'm still going through the traumatic part myself. Like, that was the worst part of my legal cases, is that I was still living through it, and I had to go through it over and over and over and over again. And I would be on the phone with these litigators, and I had to go over my story. Like 2-3 hours I'm on the phone with these people and reliving it and speaking it out loud. And I would get vertigo. Like, as soon as I would say like certain words, that was my trigger. I would always get vertigo. And even when I was recording with podcasters on their show, and they would interview me about my story, a couple times I got vertigo. And thank God it wasn't filmed. It was just audio. And I just kind of let them speak, and I just like did my thing to get rid of it, and it went away. But then I'm like, I have a nasty headache, and I feel like I'm going to throw up afterwards. And sometimes I do. And that's traumatic. And I'm like, how can I help more people like not go through that? So speaking of full circle, I had mentioned that for a second, a couple minutes ago, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. I definitely should have gotten my coffee before this episode, but this is just real life, and there's a lot going on, and this is a legit full fucking circle moment, because 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with MS in Las Vegas. And then after that, it was the NMO, right? Then I went through all of that. Then I was misdiagnosed in San Diego. Then I healed. Well, then I pursued legal action. Then I healed. Then I did all of that. But now I'm back in Las Vegas. When I started this show, I was in Las Vegas to help more patients. And then with Business and Life. So back then in 2017, 5 years ago today, it was called the Happy Workaholic Podcast. That was my brand. And it was a show to help you with your autoimmune disease and help you with your business and your LinkedIn and your life. And then we rebranded into Everything is Messy when I launched my book. And then that just didn't feel right because it was two different brands. And now here we are with Kellyanne Cares. We're in almost 100 countries, almost 40,000 of you. We're so close to 40,000. For sure, we're going to hit that this weekend. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you that tunes in every week. And by the way, if you want to be a guest, if you have a really important story to share, a product, a service, anything, you need to message me because I'm currently going through, I have over 200 now applicants to come on the show. And I want real fucking people with stories to share that will help other real fucking people. That's what I'm into right now. And so if that's with patient advocacy, if that's with, if you're a secretary, if you work at Dunkin' Donuts, if you drive for Uber, if you're a multimillionaire, if you're a $1 billion real estate investor, I don't care what you do. I want an impactful story that you have to share that is going to help other people. Because at the end of the day, why are we here? I'm here to help people. I got so many different chances in life. I'm not going to fuck it up. I want to help more people. And if you pivot, that's okay. If you go a completely different route, that's okay. Oh my God. The other day I found this quote on Pinterest and it said, when you've done all the pivoting you can do, go a whole new direction. I was like, are you serious? I mean, I know the iPhones listen to me, but are you in my brain? And I tagged her. It's on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. But it's just crazy because I started this journey in Las Vegas and now I'm in Las Vegas, closing this entire chapter of my life. Oh my God, I can't cry. I cry. I think I cried the last 2 episodes because it's been such an emotional couple of months because it's literally closing the chapter, closing this door for it's been 6 years for this whole thing that has been happening to me. And now I'm I don't feel 100% healed. I'm never going to be 100% healed, I don't think. But the work that I've done, I feel so proud of myself. And at the end of the day, that you should too. And so I decided this summer, when my dream place fell through in San Diego, I was what am I going to do? And I'm I miss traveling. I traveled for over a decade, traveling the world. And there was lots of the world I didn't get to see yet. And if I'm alive and I got all these other chances, why aren't I doing that? Why? So, and I keep going back and forth. Should I go get my place in San Diego, set it all up and then go travel? And I'm why am I going to spend $5,000 a month on rent? It's so expensive when that could cover all my travel costs. So I'm pitching a bunch of brands right now. I did pitch a bunch of brands last week, so I'm waiting to hear back. But if you are somebody that's interested in partnering up with me as I travel throughout the whole entire summer, if you're a small business owner, if you're an online digital entrepreneur, if you just want to collab on a fun content project, message me online because I just want to meet more people, travel the world, and fucking experience my damn life because a lot of it was taken away from me. So now I'm okay, so I'm in Vegas, where I'm going to go next. I think I'm going to go to Arizona. I really want to do Sedona. And let me tell you, I am a beach girl. I need my 65 and sunny and fresh air ocean breeze. It has been over 100 degrees here, but I am here for a reason. And in Sedona, that's a big place to heal. And I also want to go to Mount Shasta. And then my friend Aruj that I mentioned earlier, she was telling me that there was this 10-day road trip to Northern California, up the coast that I've been wanting to do, which I was supposed to be doing before the pandemic. And she sent me the blog post, and I looked at it briefly last night, and I was like, oh my God, now I know why there's like a million ads on this blog post, because it's so fucking good, this blog post. So yes, you need to get paid for that amazing content that you just give away for free. So I want to have these people on my show, and they have a podcast. I don't know if it's a whole podcast or just an episode, because I looked at it so briefly and I was so tired. It was like midnight, but they literally map out a 10-day coastal California road trip. So I definitely want to do that. So I'm going to take this next week and really start planning out like where I want to be. So if that's in an Airbnb, if it's at a Four Seasons, if it's in somebody's home coaching them, if it's with a friend that I haven't seen in 10 years who wants me to organize their pantry, like, I don't know, like, I'm just kind of open to anything. I just miss like real life. And I feel like for the last 6 years, I've been in this bubble of trying so hard to pretend I have one, but like I didn't. I was like going through so much trauma, and I don't have that situation right now. So now that I don't, I'm able to help more people. And that's the whole purpose with this show, the whole purpose of like why I'm on this planet, and why I really think that patient advocacy is like my next chapter. Am I still developing podcasts and coaching people on LinkedIn and designing new merch? Abso-fucking-lutely. I am a Gemini. Hello. Yes, I'm doing all of that. And I'm doing my on-demand summer coaching experience as well, where you get me in your back pocket. So if you're interested in that, if you just like need basically like an expert / virtual assistant, like that's kind of what the program's about. It's super cheap. And speaking of my programs, I also wanted to share that, you know, every year on my birthday, I always launch something new, like a brand new something. That's why this show is always anniversary on my birthday. And my audiobook was supposed to come out because I had already pushed the date a couple times because of my voice. I actually have to redo the whole entire audiobook. So I'm like, is this a sign? Just don't do it. But so many of my other friends that are also authors and really known authors, they're like, you really need to do the audiobook. So I know I need to, but I have to do it all over again, because my voice, when I stream my vocal cords, the chapter sounds so different. It's like a different person read it every chapter. And then I was moving for like a month, so like my studio was taken down, and the sound quality, and I don't want to have to like edit heavy. So we're just going to have to redo the whole damn book. And originally I thought I could launch it on my birthday. And then my doctor was like, no, you need to go see a voice therapist, like a speech therapist. No, voice specialist. They're at UCSD. And it's like a 9-month wait. UCSD is the best doctors. That's why I moved to San Diego, to see the neurologist at UCSD. And he's the one that saved my life. So it's worth the wait. So for somebody that talks for a living, I'm trying not to talk as much, but we all know that's really hard. That's why I have those lozenges, which I also forgot because they're in my purse on the table in the house. Anyway, so I just want to continuously help more people with things that I'm well versed in, and how I can help you level up personally and professionally. And because I'm not launching my audiobook today, because I have to redo the whole damn thing, I am doing a 50% off sale on everything I have created. So I'm not going to do the merch, but I am going to do my on-demand summer coaching experience. It's $1,000 off for 4 months. It's $1,000. It's $997 for 4 months of coaching with me. That's half off. So it'll be like 4 something. And then I have all of my business coaching programs. I have all of my LinkedIn coaching programs. I have my one-on-ones. I have my consulting. I have now the patient advocacy consulting sessions. I have my podcast productions. I have my podcast development. I take on 1 client a month for that. It's all 50% off. If you are ready to level up and you're like, now is the fucking time, do it. Life is short. You could die in your sleep. I'm just going to be blunt. That's how life goes. And I'm here. I got a second chance for a reason, and that is to help you. So whether it's to create really funny content where I swear a lot, or if it's like developing new shows for my new incredible clients that their stories will help change the world, with this show, with the guests I bring on, with any of the programs I create, with the advocacy that I do, with my TikToks, like whatever the fuck it is, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm very strategic. I don't just like whip out my camera and do like crazy things. I am a list person. If you want to know how to write a good fucking list, I'm your girl. Although lists give a lot of people anxiety because a lot of my friends are like, oh my God, I can't with your list. I'm like, I know, but they're color coded. Look how pretty they are. I love a good fucking list. I have a list for my list. And that's just how my brain works. And honestly, it's because I had chemo brain for so long, I'd forget everything. That's when the color coding situation started to happen because I would forget everything. And if I saw a color, that would remind me. So I always do like pink stuff is fun. And now I do that for like content creation. Orange highlights are meetings. Yellow highlights are mandatory. Green are bills due. Blue is doctor's appointments or dental appointments. And purple is podcasting. Like that's just in case you wanted to know like what every highlight color is in my world, like that's your full definition. So that gives a lot of my friends anxiety. They're like, that's just too much. So again, you have to find your own way. So thank you for tuning in to episode 327, my 5-year anniversary show. I can't even believe it. Again, if you want to meet up in real life this summer, if you want to work together this summer, if you want to just like hop on a fucking FaceTime and say hi, like I'm down. Like I'm just down for it all. I just need to fucking relax for the first time in my life and travel. And I really need to, like I started making a list, of course. Back to my list. I should do a show episode like just on list making. But I want to go to Europe so bad. I want to go to Dubai, Ireland, Italy, Paris, of course, like everywhere in Ireland, South Africa, Greece, London, Barcelona. One of my really good friends is in Barcelona, and she literally messaged me this morning, like, when are you coming? And I'm like, oh my God, should I go next week? I don't know. So I just am excited to like be a little digital nomad for a while and help people in real life and just like enjoy my own damn life. Cause it's been like 6 years that I haven't really been able to do that. So now's the time, right? So if you are ready to level up, if you are ready to share this episode, if you are ready to just enjoy your life like me this summer, I would love to know. Head on over to my Instagram or my TikTok. I actually just started repurposing my TikToks on YouTube, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And I hit auto publish by accident. So if you're on any of my channels and you just saw like a massive amount of TikToks, that's why. So I have to like slow it down on the repurposing. I shouldn't have hit auto publish. I was like in a zone and that I wanted to do like 10 a day because I have like 700 videos. But anyway, to the new listeners, and you found me that way, thank you for tuning in for the first time, and my method worked. And if you're interested in learning how I did that and why I did that and my strategic tools on repurposing, I actually just filmed a bunch of TikToks about it last night in a park outside in Vegas, dripping sweat. I mean, like, I'm just keeping it real. That was the only slot I had in my day to record TikToks. So I recorded them. I actually have a couple more I'm going to publish this morning. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 327, my 5-year anniversary show / 44th birthday. I'm going to go celebrate in air-conditioned only situations because it's going to be 110. Actually, I think it said 111 tomorrow. It's hot. I'm not used to this heat. 40-something, 50-something more than I'm used to. But I'm here for a reason, and that was just my arm in the car door, by the way. Don't think it was anything else. I have this shirt on. It keeps like sliding on the door, making that noise. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you and share what's to come. So patient advocacy consulting, a new cookbook I'm working on, 50% off until Sunday, June 12th at midnight Pacific Standard Time. All of my programs, every single one of them. And that includes my new consulting for patient advocacy. So if you're interested in any of that information, if you just want to say hello, again, you know where to find me online. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Kellyanne Gorman Official, TikTok as well, LinkedIn, Kellyanne Gorman. You could just go to my website, kellyannegorman.com. What's to come with the show is that I'm going through all these applications. And like I mentioned earlier, if you have a serious story that will change the lives of others, you're the one that's coming on the show. Like, that's the kind of content I want to share all summer long, because life is short. There are so many people going through so much shit. And I feel like let's just kind of circle back and make people feel good again. I was at a Panera Bread working for like 4.5 hours yesterday, and there's this woman there. Her name is Jenny. Shout out to Jenny at Panera on Blue Diamond Boulevard in Las Vegas. People go there to see her. They don't give a shit about Panera's products. I mean, maybe they love them, but they go for her. And I was like, what is your name? Where do you come from? What do you, like, I literally interviewed her. I was like, oh my God, you need to come on my show. Like, born in Jersey, still has our accent, has like multiple businesses, and everybody goes in. They're like, Jenny, I heard it about 400 fucking times while I was working yesterday. Do you know how incredible that is? Like, I can't remember the last time I experienced something like that. Like, real human interaction, like genuine, like real shit that just made everybody feel good. They spend their money every day, Panera Bread, by the way, to go see your employee Jenny and then eat your delicious food. I had an Asiago bagel, by the way, and a tea. I really wanted the French onion soup, but I wasn't about to be in a carb coma because I really do love their soups in the bread bowl, but that's a whole nother situation. A whole nother discussion about sodium and bread bowls, because that's like, oh, they're so good. Anyway, I just couldn't believe the amount of people that were coming in. It's like she just showed up, and I'm like, she's there every fucking day. So I want more stories like that. I have this show for a reason, and I want to share more stories like that will help people, that will make people laugh, that will share inspiration, motivation, that will stimulate you, that will educate you. Like, I love bringing on experts. So that's what you're going to hear from throughout the summer. So that's why I need time to go through all these applicants. There's 200 something, but if you would like to be added to that list, just slide into my DMs online or go to my website and send me a message, kellyanngorman.com, and send me your story. And if you want to just hop on a call for like 10, 15 minutes and tell me instead of typing it all out, because trust me, that is annoying. Because I've had to do that a million times. Trust me. Let's just do that. So it's my birthday. I'm going to go celebrate. And also 5 years of this show. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's just like a blur. Like, I have to like sit. I started making this like gratitude list yesterday of like 44 things I'm grateful for. I wrote it on the top of the page, but then I got sidetracked and I had to go do something else. So I really want to complete that by this, again, a list. It's a fucking list. 44 things, 1 through 44. I listed it out of what I should be grateful for in my life right now. And one of them is you. So thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this episode, if you've enjoyed any of my shows, if you want to hear from someone, if you love a guest that I've recently had on years ago, please share those episodes with anybody that you feel like needs to hear those stories, because that's what it's all about. That is why I am a podcaster. That's why it started. That's why I'm still doing it. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's time to celebrate. If you need me, I'll probably be posting a shitload of content on TikTok over the weekend. And definitely taking a break from social media. By the way, one last note. If you feel like you need a break from social media, I did a TikTok about this yesterday, which you can go watch, but I'll share briefly, like before I sign off. I used to tell my clients, like, if you're going to take a break from your podcast, you need to tell your audience, because they're going to be like, where are you? If you need to take a break from social media, you should be like, hey, I'm doing like a detox. Okay, that was like my old way of thinking. Now I'm like, fuck it. If your mental health is more important, like, if you notice, a couple weeks ago, I was very like silent on social media because I needed a fucking break. It was in the middle of moving for the first time in almost 3 years. All these life changes were happening. I had crazy writer's block. I've had writer's block for the last couple of weeks. It finally just like went away a couple days ago, thank God, because I just had to write like 7 different commercials for clients. And I'm like, I can't write. I'm staring at my screen. I should do an episode just on that and how I get out of it. But anyway, I just need a fucking break sometimes, and so I log off. I'm not telling you I'm logging off. I don't tell you in my newsletter I'm logging off. I just fucking do it. And you know what? I'm giving you the permission to do that too. You know, I feel like you should let everybody know if you're creating content online. Like, hey, I'm just going to step away so they don't think like you died. But when you're struggling with mental health, the last thing you're thinking about is letting somebody else like, oh, I'll be right back. Fuck it. Just log off. Like, log off the internet. It will save your brain. It will probably save you money, time, money, and energy, to be honest. But that's what I've been doing a lot more of lately, is just taking breaks and just doing it because I feel like doing it. And that's that. Like, that's the only answer. Like, if I need a mental break, I'm just going to take one. And if you see me not online, you know, like, I just need a break. And usually when I do that, though, I do try to send a newsletter out. So if you're not on my newsletter list, and you want to get on there and get a free copy of my ebook, Everything is Messy, just go to kellyanngorman.com, because that's where I'll fill you in when I come back from my little social media hiatus. But if you are having this pressure, like so much pressure, you need to be online and show up. The only thing you need to fucking show up for is yourself, first of all. And that's it. So figure your own damn life out and then go online and help others. That's what I think. Anyway, final thought. Thank you again. We are almost in 100 countries, probably by the end of the summer, end of the month. I don't know. 40,000 of you. I'm so fucking grateful. You have no idea. And again, if you have anything you want to share, send it my way. I will talk to you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to Kellyanne Cares, a one-of-a-kind show created to motivate, stimulate, educate, and inspire you. And I hope that happened for you today. As I mentioned in the intro, I would love your feedback on today's episode. Head to Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app to leave a review for the show. I would truly appreciate it. For more information on myself, the show, my book, and the programs, products, and services I've created, visit kellyanngorman.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the podcast community, and check out the brands I'm currently loving. Let's continue today's conversation. You can connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Kellyanne Gorman Official. All my other social handles will be available for you in the show notes. If you have a product, brand, story, or service you would like to share on the show, send me a message on kellyanngorman.com today. As always, thanks for listening, sharing, and reviewing. I wouldn't be here without you, and I'm so grateful I get to do what I love each and every day. Wishing you a happy, healthy, positive, and productive day, and I'll talk to you again soon.